recording. Welcome. My name is Baron Guillermo de Cervantes of the Kingdom of Trimaris. And we have tonight a very new experience with the Trimarian Command School, first of its kind. And we are in preparation for an upcoming event, our Kingdom Crown List, Trimarian Memorial Tournament, where we get to choose our new prince and princess. At this event, we are going to be doing war games, and that's what we're here to talk about. And we have our Kingdom General, Sir Almeric. We have Sir Azric and Sir Almeric, and they're going to be guiding us through this process. I would like to share a moment of my inspiration for Melee. Started 2 years ago. I was at Gulf War and I was able to witness an amazing conversation with Sir Solomon and Sir Jean-Paul. At the time, Sir Jean-Paul was a general of the army, and Sir Solomon was talking very passionate about our need to have more sergeants in Trimaris and more melee experiences, more melee experience. And it inspired me. And from that point forward, I started focusing my mind on strategy and tactics. And that's what started me on this path with Trimaris Talks, so that I can very selfishly learn as much as I could from the command structure of the FCA and the chivalry of Trimaris. And so that's what started it for me. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on the war games that are pending at our upcoming Kingdom event. Please, please, please keep your channels muted. If you have any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat. I will monitor, or save it to the end. So first and foremost, if we could talk to Sir Cherish, our general. What do you think about the war games, and what are your thoughts and plans for our future?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Guillermo. I appreciate you. Um, I get to take over as general soon, and I'm super, super excited about that. Um, I wanted to start to just exploit our competitive nature as fighters. We all enjoy the true competition. We enjoy war, and when we go to war, it is the competition. It is the desire to win. It is the obtaining glory as a group that we really seek after, and that just makes war so much more fun. So we are looking to do war games instead. Let's bring that type of fun that we have at war and that type of competition that we all love. Let's bring it to all of our events. Sir Azric and Almeric have put together some amazing plans for games. These games are going to have prizes, and we are going to have glory to go along with this. And within these games, it's going to teach us more about what we need on the field and to work better as an army. And that will bring us victory. That I know that we can. Trimaris has an amazing army, and I know with the right training um, and the right games, us working together, it's not going to matter if we're 2-1 outnumbered. It's not going to matter. Trimaris can win. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Almeric and Osric have laid out for us coming up.
Sure, Sarah,
Thank you.
could you please share with us what you think are the strengths that we have as an army in Trimaris? What are our best qualities?
Trimaris, well, our army is amazing to begin with. We have the best army in the known world. The fact that we have the geographical area that we do means that we're constantly fighting with each other. We know each other. We know our fighting styles. We know our strengths, and we know our weaknesses.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
Trimaris is the only kingdom that is like that. We just need to strengthen that. Once we strengthen that, we're going to be unstoppable. We have a unique potential, and I really want to see our army finally meet the potential they have at every
Jesse,
level.
mute your audio, please. Sorry.
That's okay. Whose audio is that? Hello.
We're good.
William.
But with our as close as we are as a kingdom and our geographical area, we have the potential to just be an unstoppable army. And I think with Azric and Almeric's plans here, that's going to help us reach what we can do on the field.
I agree. I also think that one of the strengths that we have as a kingdom is just the fact that we can practice year round. You know,
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
really good point. Yeah.
our constitutions are very strong because we fight in all weather, you know,
Yeah.
and
Great point. Yeah.
you know, with the gear, with the helmets, you know, we're out there sweating and it nonstop, which is why I think we excel, particularly in the ravine battle.
I think you're right.
Sir Azric,
Yes.
tell us about the war games.
Okay, give me 1 second here. I got someone asking me a question. Let me just type out real quick here.
We're very
Cannot walk and chew. I can't walk and chew gun at the same time, apparently. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Sir Almeric. I've been a bit inactive for the last bit, but I'm coming back. Being active again, being very active again. I I'll tell you where what happened, why I got inspired to kind of come up with this. I took over as marshal for Wyvernwood, and we had a regional practice few weeks ago, and we had a regional practice slash revel, and I think we had a little over 10 fighters come out, which was, for that, pretty a decent number. I mean, I would have liked to see more, but 10, I'm happy with 10. So what I noticed was, we were doing some fighting, doing some pickups and whatnot, and then we kind of decided, hey, let's do some melees. And so the two teams lined up. There was like five-ish on either side. And we lined up and we did the melee. We did some field battle scenarios, and then we did some bridge battle scenarios. And it just all felt kind of bland. It all felt like we're just going through the motions. Yeah, we're all melee fighters, or we're all fighters, and melee fighting is part of that to be a well-rounded fighter. And we do it because we do have a war every year, but it just really felt like you were just going through the numbers with nothing, no real fire there, no real zip there, and that could have just been my impression. So uh, I think back to I started in the SCA at the end of '92, beginning of '93 was my first war. And back then, years ago, we were household driven. We were primarily household driven. It wasn't the baronies. It wasn't the shires. Our fighting groups were the households,
Sir
and it
Ezra,
was
I'm sorry. I have to interrupt you, please, because we have some new people here. What does that mean?
okay.
What is a household?
What is a household? A household was what we were. We were basically Asgard, for example, was Duke Baldar's squires and former squires, and we were all,
My phone here.
so I was squire to Lancemal. Lancemal was squire to Baldar. So it was basically all of a knight's squires and their men at arms and their friends, and uh, uh, we were all kind of linked by household. And so it's amazing that you asked me that what are households. Wow, that's kind of a question. I never did anybody ask what a household was, but that's what we were. We were mainly households. And so um, back then we had Asgard, we had House Arachnid, which was Duke Solomon's household. We had Claydu, which was Shosai's household. We had Goldstar. We had Cerebus, which was a bunch of knights that came together and formed a big fighting unit, and we had Duntier, and we were all frenemies. We would fight against each other, with each other, and there was that competitive spark. There was that competitive edge that we all used to have. I remember as Asgard, we would go up to Newport Richie and go fight at the Duntier practice and have a great time with those guys, and that was just always a thing that we always had. And it just seems to me that we've lost that. We've lost that whole us versus them, that team thing. And so what I thought was, what if we could bring that back? What if we could bring back the idea of, not necessarily has to be households, because households were more family. But if we brought back the idea of having two factions within the kingdom, two fighting factions, two halves of the Trimarian army. We split the Trimarian army into two teams. That's where I come up with the idea for Team Hydra versus Team Kraken, because Trimaris, we're the kingdom of three seas. We are the kingdom that's, we have that maritime kind of flavor to us, that whole ideology of, oh, we're an ocean going kingdom. And so the Kraken and the Hydra were both, mythological titans that were attached to the oceans. And so I thought, you know what, if we had two teams like that, and the Trimaris would split each other up, we could split everybody up into one of the two teams, and what we could do is have war games, so that every time we have a kingdom event, we'll have, instead of just melees, we'll have basically structured mini wars, which is kind of what the crust, the gist of what the war games are going to be. They're structured mini wars at each kingdom event, and the plan being, at TMT, I want to have preseason introduction, just to kind of give everybody a start. I've already got a set number of battles planned out to do, but it's going to be outcomes for every battle. For example, the teams will basically will have you guys split up. We'll have each team's going to have their own command staff, your own command structure. You're going to have to set up your own war shields, your own pole arms, your own spears. I will find out tomorrow night if we can have combat archery at Camp Trinity. If we can, bring out the combat archery. And what we're going to do is, the way it's going to work is, we'll bring up the two armies, the two teams, and the first battle is going to be a field battle. And it's going to be best 2 out of 3 for the field battle. The loser of that scenario then has to retreat. I'm stealing this from EMP, actually. The loser retreats, and the loser decides whether they're going to go retreat to the bridge or to another scenario. And then from there, the loser of that scenario, if it goes 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5, they're going to be able to retreat to the next scenario. And you go back and forth until we have an outcome of either 2 out of 3 battles or 3 out of 5 battles, or however we decide to come up with that. But each battle, say for example, your team loses the field battle, then you can retreat. You're going to retreat to, well, we have more spears than them, so we're going to retreat to the bridge, or we're going to retreat, and we're going to retreat to the town battle. And each side's going to be able to decide which will be the next scenario, until we have also a lot of different ideas for scenarios and whatnot. I've got a lot of different ideas. That's just the first part of it, the first taste of what war games are going to be like.
Is this going
So,
to be like a scrimmage war?
how do you mean the scrimmage war?
That's a question Dobbs asking. Is it going to be like a scrimmage war?
Let's do questions at the end. Let's do questions at the end, please.
Okay.
Okay. I got some more material I want to get through here.
Okay.
So, let me see here. So Team Hydra, Team Kraken, 2 factions. So then, the war games are going to be structured and organized melee practices. War games will be held at major kingdom events. The reason I want to do them at the major kingdom events is because most people attend those events anyways. We only have so many weekends in a year, and adding war games just on their own, is just adding more travel and money and time spent. If we're all going to kingdom events, we can schedule, as part of our melee practices, we can schedule the war games in lieu of melee practice. And this, we can also have, we can do like Kern did the most badass practice before Gulf Wars. We can do something like that before Gulf Wars, and focus on the recreating the battles situations, or the recreating the battles from Gulf Wars in preparation for Gulf Wars. Let me see here. War games will see scenarios will be disclosed before the battle and give commanders time to plan. First, like I said, for TMT, I'm looking at doing 3 scenarios. Best 2 out of 3 is going to win. And many of my scenarios are also still in the process. As far as teams are concerned, what I wanted to do with the teams is, each team's going to have what I'd like to come up with mantles, like helmet mantles. Instead of just having tape on your helmet, have a helmet mantle for your team. Have a little bit of team pride. So, like a white on blue mantle or a blue on white mantle with a Triscale, and have the avatar of the Hydra or the have an attitude. Have a hold on a second. I keep getting messages. Have the avatar of the Hydra or the Kraken on your mantle to kind of delineate which team you're on. Um, there'll be accolades throughout the year. If you attend all of the if you attend all of the war games, you're gonna get a note for that. At the end of each scenario, at the end of each war games, the commanders we're going to talk to the commanders, and they're going to talk about the other team. Who was the best spearman on the other team? Who was the best shieldman on the other team? Who was the best swordsman on the other team? And those people will be recognized, and they're going to get Triscale stamps on their mantle, and the hopes are I'll get those stamped on the mantle. I'll also have like little spears or shields or swords to kind of give you kudos, give you recognition for your efforts on the field. And let me see here. What's my next thing here?
Just to make sure
Um,
I heard you right. It sounds like we're going to do bridge battles, field battles, town battles. Did I miss anything?
we're going to have the scenarios we're going to start off with will be field battles, and then there'll be options of going back to a bridge battle. There'll be option of having a town battle. There'll be options of having a portal battle. I'm even foreseeing a mini champions battle where each side pulls up the five newest fighters. Bring up your newest guys and give them a chance to be out in the spotlight, right? Um, and then that's just the preliminary of what I'd like to do for the different scenarios. Almeric and I are going to work on creating like the items that we need to do the bridge, to do a portal, to do a little town battle. I'd like to do a 30-minute hold the middle banner battle, recreating the ravine battle at Gulf Wars. 30 minutes. Every 10 minutes we keep score who has got the banner.
Could you describe
Um,
what a portal battle is?
a portal battle, just basically a portal battle is the front gate at the castle at Gulf Wars. There's a front gate. There's it's not so much a bridge. It's the entrance to the fort. You knock down the front door. Now you got to come into the fort. You got to take the fort. Similar to a bridge, but the idea is you've been backed into your castle now, and so now you got to defend your castle through your portal. You have to get up a shield wall, get your spears, get your team ready to defend the portal, to defend the gate. Um, I say the system of accolades and acknowledgement for efforts is going to be part of it. I'm also looking at possible having giveaways for outstanding fighters, cup hilts, spear kits, shield bosses. I'd like to tap the rent a jock or the help a jock group and come up with like a if you're the best spearman for the entire season one, you're gonna get a hoodie with the avatar with the Triscale and a spear on your hoodie, or even linen caps or whatever. Um, at the end of war games, again, I want to start this. The preseason is going to be at TMT. Um, Season one starts at fall coronation, and then go to fall crown list, a pre-golf wars, after coronation, and then final one at TMT. And again, this is all still under construction, but at the end of the season, then we're going to have a big, and I'm totally nerding out here. We're going to have a big Harry Potter type party banquet, acknowledging all the best fighters, the best teams. Gryffindor it wins the cup. Kind of that in that vein. And forgive me for being a giant nerd, but having kind of that kind of thing where you have something to look forward to, and the idea being your team is constantly preparing and thinking about the next war game. If your team has lost two in a row, then you better get your stuff together and come up with a better plan, and come up with a better strategy to win the next set of to win the next set of war games. Um,
Excellent. Excellent. It's very exciting.
And so let me see. Let me just finish up my notes here. And I'm hoping that it's, I'm hoping it's a little bit catches some traction. I'd like to see options like the team says, okay, next war games, you're going to get points for target archery and for thrown weapons, and have some spillover into that. Uh, we may even have a possibility of, hey, next war games, you're going to get a point for an arch side project. Bring that. Again, this is in the future. This is kind of just I'm spitballing some of my ideas for the different points and whatnot. As far as scenarios, I'm gonna have historical battles. We're gonna do we're gonna do the siege of Vienna, and yes, the winged hussar are gonna come charging by. We're gonna do the sack of Rome. We're gonna do the siege of we'll do Agincourt. We'll do Battle of Hastings. We're gonna have reenactment battles as well as part of this. Um, I'll be a complete nerd as well. If anybody plays World of Warcraft, we're gonna do Arathi Basin. We're gonna do Ultrarag Valley. I'm gonna reenact some of those battles from those video games, just to kind of throw some curveballs in it. Um, uh,
But
so I've got a lot of ideas. The team's gonna, we're gonna come up with the scenarios as we go, and I hope this catches traction. I hope people are excited, and we're gonna go forward.
I
Uh,
think I
all,
think we're off to a great start. We have 21 people with us right now. So
Awesome.
the
Awesome. Very,
word
very
the
good.
word is, the
Very
word
good.
is out, and the excitement is coming, and I think your enthusiasm is infectious, and I think we're all going to be ready to go for TMT.
Okay. So thank you. My name is Sir Almeric. That was my TED Talk. I thank you for listening. If Almeric would like to give his portion of the talk.
Greetings and good evening to everybody. Sir Almeric, raised in Trimaris, general a couple of years ago. But we've had a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to this. Cherish and Azric have managed to pull me back into something that I was going to start running, and we just ran into a series of issues where we couldn't get these things up and going. But I'm super excited about Azric's ideas and the way they're going to go. It takes a kingdom to raise an army, no different than, kind of how to raise your own household or run your own war band. We got to all work together to get this done. There's going to be opportunities for people to film what's going on at these so that we can strip them apart later and talk about what people could have done or what they did do right during the fight. We're going to have a lot of great opportunity to meet probably about Guillermo, you were suggesting just before and just after a kingdom level event, so we can have a before and after action report kind of thing. Trimaris Command School is something that I've been thinking about for a while. Osric likes it and Cherish likes it, and the idea behind it is that we're going to be training not only the Army but training the trainers as well. We're going to be looking for an opportunity to have new people come up and want to be sergeants and figure these things out. So I'm going to get into a couple things here. Every one of you is good enough and are important. It's just a matter of us practicing together and learning how to function as a unit, as an army when we go to Golf Wars or Fool's War or War of the Wings. I'm going to ask a series of questions. Don't want anybody to answer, but things you should keep in your head. Why are SS Special Forces units so good? Well, they're so good because the type of training they go through. That it's not perfect. Practice makes perfect. Or that's not practice makes perfect. It's perfect practice makes perfect. So it's going to be a matter of us just starting, getting out, slowly working together. We got some drills lined up for you guys that we've done in the past and have been successful. We cannot expect you to be a special forces, or dev group, Delta Force group. We're not asking that of you. We're just asking you to start coming out, starting to be a part of it, starting to learn the timing of the army, starting to learn these little drills so that when you get to Golf Wars and it's your first or second time to a war, you kind of see something taking place or you overhear a command, you know where to jump in and how to be an asset to the team. Without that training, you're just not going to have it, an opportunity to see it as well. We've also got time and age as a issue for being, a top tier special forces unit. But what it does take is accountability. If we're accountable to ourselves, what is accountability? Well, some people might say it's accountability to ourselves, making sure accountability is suffering out in the heat, suffering out at practice, suffering in the evening practices, suffering. I want to throw it out for accountability of suffering. Itomi's probably our newest person on here tonight. And Guillermo, you've been around for a couple of years now. I've watched both of you in the short amount of time that you've been a part of the SCA hold yourselves accountable to becoming better. Tomi, you haven't even been here about a year, and she's out doing her 100-day with archery already. Guillermo, I've been watching you progress through your practices. That practice pays off. And when it comes to our war practices, these little pieces of homework we're going to send back to your groups, that practice, if you do it at the beginning of your practice or preferably before, because most people, once they get tired, they just go home. They don't got time for one-on-ones or time for war practice after they've done one-on-ones, so build up that stamina. Um, Military training, I've seen it work already. I implemented it with a drill that I just recently made. Sir Kern was a part of it. I don't know if you were there for that one, Guillermo. I think Soshai was there for it. We had a drill where the drill was a crawl, walk, run phase drill that taught how to pick up the timing of your unit. How do you find the flow of the battle? Then we added in breaking it up into groups on each side, and then we had a commander by the time we were in the run phase, and people giving instruction. And so we're training everybody within 30 minutes. You've trained the entire army at a basic level, which is what we all need. Geographically, it was mentioned earlier, we are the luckiest kingdom in the entire known world. Nobody has any reason to gripe about a 6-hour drive to a practice or to an event because kingdoms like East and Mid-Realm, if they don't have the crown tournament in that part of the kingdom, they don't go because it's a 10, 12-hour drive one way for a day event in some cases because they do fight indoors up there. Coming back to the command school, uh, sergeants, I want to lean on sergeants. General Cherish wants to lean on sergeants. Azric wants to lean on sergeants. I want to get to where we've got sergeants, sergeant majors, where we've got runners. I know that there's been archery people who have volunteered to say, "Hey, if you need us to run when we can't shoot, we'll be messengers." There is potential behind this, and it can be done. We got to work up to it. It's not going to happen overnight, but going back, we're going to try to put out homework. We're trying to figure it out. I think we're going to put out these drills, which we're just calling homework. These drills probably once a quarter, we're going to send out to the sergeants and send out to your groups. Hey, this is what we want you to work on for this quarter. And we're going to start with triads. We're going to start with, perfecting a shield wall. We're going to start with, and then we're going to lead up into how to glaives and spears support, how to, shields prepare to defend spears, how do spears defend shields, work up through all these drills so that by the time we get to war, it doesn't matter if I'm standing next to the newest person, it's their first war, or I'm standing next to Sir Soshai or my good fighting buddy, Sir Halp. We've been fighting buddies ever since we were squires. We know what's going to happen, and that's important. It's going to allow us to just really come together and function and feel like you're a part of the team instead of just, hey, I heard this and I got killed because I didn't know what was going on. We want to make sure you guys all feel like you're a part of this.
Jerome,
Uh,
you were mentioning sergeants. I've had several people ask me this question. How does one become a sergeant?
It's a good question, and I was actually thinking about this. Recently our sergeants have been somewhat vocal on the field. You yourself were very vocal at Penzic 2 years ago when we went as a very small group, and I watched you take charge of other people's units, and move things along. It's really going to be a matter of first off, tell us that you're interested. I don't care if you're an unbelt. I don't care if you're a squire. I don't care if you're another knight. If we put you in charge of something and you come up and tell me that this is what's been needs to happen, then I'm going to make that happen. Just because I'm a knight and I've been a general doesn't mean that I'm just going to ignore you. I'm going to show this teamwork and support General Cherish. I'm going to show this teamwork and support Azric's idea. And every one of you, if you want to be a part of that, all you got to do is come up and ask. Um, so really, it's kind of funny you're asked that. If you want to learn how to command, you want to learn how to be a sergeant, come and ask. Come and say you want or generally interested in it. And we'll train you, and we'll find each other's deficiencies, and we'll work on them together and get you to where you need to be.
Can I share something I learned from Sir Cherish in my very first Trimaris talks?
Absolutely, yes.
If nobody's around, there's no sergeant around, you're the guy. You see
Yep.
something that needs to be done, you see something, you've got the situational awareness, you see a hole or a problem or something that needs to be fixed, and there's no one else around taking that command, then it's on you to take command and make it happen. And people will notice you do that. And if they notice you do that, that's how you become a sergeant.
Yep, that's exactly it. If no one's giving commands and you see a stalemated line and you know how to take advantage of it, just take advantage of it. One of two things is going to happen. You're either going to be successful at a boy or at a girl, rather, whichever, or you're going to be unsuccessful and you're going to have learned from that mistake. We get to be lucky that we have resurrections, right? And we get to be lucky that we have hour-long resurrection battles where we can go out and make that mistake once or twice before, okay, we're never using that again, but I'm going to go try this, and oh, look, that worked because you're thinking outside the box. These are all things that we're going to be discussing, how to find the flow of the battle. There are things in battle that actually I'm very happy to have heard another knight from another kingdom on SCA Coach's Corner repeat this. And Sir Louis didn't know who it was because, yeah, I actually talked to this knight at Penzic, and he's like, you can actually listen to the battle and listen to what's going on. There is a flow to it, just like waves hitting the beach on a calm night. And when that flow changes, you have a tendency to look and see what's going on. And when you're that aware of what's going on with the din of battle, it gives you a step ahead of the other group. And I've got other examples for that. I think I have covered a ton. Um, I think we can go ahead and open it up to questions.
Yeah, we have a few questions pending. So
Can you
let
hear me? Am I back on?
Yeah, you're back on.
me hear
Okay,
you.
I fat fingered my stupid phone, so now I'm on my PC.
Alrighty. We have a few questions pending. The first one was, how would an unbelt best set up and prepare for the war games?
Folks, real quick, folks asking questions, try to pick who you want to answer. Is Cherish still with us?
She
Did she bail? Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh, there
No,
she
I'm
is.
here.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right. If you have a question that's specific to General Cherish or to Sir Osric or to myself, please try to lead with that. Other than that, go ahead.
So how does an unbelt prepare for war games?
I'll take this one. What the biggest thing is to make sure your equipment's ready. Make sure that you have a good repair kit. And that you are taking care of yourself, hydrating every day. You prepare for war games the same way you prepare for war. Come and be prepared to play the game all day and give it everything that you've got. If you're interested in leadership roles, talk to one of us. We are looking for team captains. We're looking for leaders, people who want to kind of figure out tactics and want to kind of be able to control a team or to lead a team into a different type of game. So it's just be prepared to fight, go all in, and let's have fun with it.
I've heard I've learned also it's a good idea to eat a lot of carbs the night before,
Yeah.
to prepare and hydrate well before the event. So
Two
that
weeks prior to any war, you're going to want to start drinking a gallon of water today, especially Penzic.
Actually, I'm going to correct that. To have proper hydration, this is something that I know very, very well. To have proper hydration, it takes 2 months. And it takes about 2 liters a day for the 2 months.
Oh, there
If
you
you've
go.
ever experienced like a certain level of fatigue at war or anything that you're doing where you're physically exerting yourself and just suddenly your whole body feels drained, that's going to be your adrenal glands that are shutting you down because you're not used to having enough water day to day. You might have enough water the day before and that day, but if your body's not used to getting enough water day to day, your body's not going to take any chances chances of you getting overheated or dehydrated. It's going to release a hormone that causes you to be absolutely fatigued to where you have to stop. And it is a different type of tired. The only way really to combat that is about 2 liters, at least 2 liters of water a day for about 2 months straight. So it has to be something that you are doing constantly. If you're going to do any kind of athletic sport where you're going to be outside like we are, your hydration has to be something that is on point and that you don't skip. If you have a night of drinking, then you drink some electrolytes the next day. And those, your hot days and your nights of drinking are fine if your body is used to getting the hydration that you need every day. But 2 months, remember, 2 months and 2 liters.
In progress.
In all fairness, my intel was about 30 years old, so
This is my day-to-day life. So
no, it's all good. I'm glad you answered it better than I did because that's important. Hydration is huge for us, even at Gulf Wars.
I would
It is.
also, I would encourage, everybody to kind of start thinking about, what team you want to be on. And once we got our teams kind of situated and settled, you talk with your team about some of these things. You kind of get ideas or get some kind of advice from your team and your group. We're going to be many. We're going to have too many armies in Trimaris, and so as the proverb says, iron sharpens iron. That's the motto for the war games. Is we're going to get better by competing with each other. So an unbelt. If you don't have a house, so if you're not belted to anybody, you're on your own. Find your group. That's your team, and seek that team's leadership for advice and for leadership and for guidance.
Duchess Maisie and Duke Kern both are actually making a comment, which I try to make at every opportunity, to authorize in all fighting styles. It is, if you're authorized in all fighting styles, then you're prepared to serve the kingdom completely. Wherever there's a hole, you're ready to fill it. And so you may have your preference of a fighting style that you love to do, which is fine, especially in tournament settings. But in war, you're serving the kingdom as a soldier, and you have to be prepared to fill whatever hole is available, whatever is in need. If it's shield wall, if they need a spearman, if they need a combat archer, if you're trained in all siege, we always need people for siege. If you're authorized in all forms, then you're prepared to serve your kingdom completely.
I don't know if you have any other questions in the chat, but
Yes,
Domenico's had his hand up.
go for it.
Well, Azric kind of answered this question with his last statement, but once we're picking the teams, or once the teams have been divvied up, so let's say you got Sable Rings are fighting on House or on Team Kraken, they're that team for the whole season. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I want to see the teams stick together for the whole season, and that way, amongst the two teams, you now have to make plans, and you have to encourage your team to get together and prepare for the next war games.
Now, Osler, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we spoke about this earlier, we are going, because this is meant to be training, we are going to be evening up the teams as best we can, and we're going to ask knights to be especially flexible, correct?
Correct. This is to encourage all the new fighters, the newer fighters, and we're gonna go to the Knights and say, hey, Knights, by all means, pick your team, get on your teams, but the Knights are going to be required to be flexible so that at any particular time, if some people need to spill over, we'll spill over because we want to try and even up the size as much as possible to kind of make things fair. But again, I cannot emphasize as much that I'd like to see us have this team mentality, kind of bringing back the feeling of the old households, how the old households went, and have that kind of spirit, kind of ignite and relight, our competitive nature.
And our esprit de corps.
Our esprit de corps. Yes, sir.
Dob has asked a few really good questions. This one I'll read straight up. Will there be any non-combative, more conditioning heavy war games like step up for conditioning at practice or at home?
So I'll field this one. As far as conditioning goes, one is just if we take responsibility for ourselves and get into the gym and get out for a walk, especially, when it goes from when we're talking about going from, 35-degree weather for the brief couple of days that we have them, and then within 3 to 4 months, we're into the 70s and 80s. We have to be out walking in this weather to get acclimated to it. Cherish will probably agree that this helps with our hydration, with being able to take it in. If you're just sitting in AC all the time, you ain't gonna hold water for nothing. It doesn't matter how fast you drink it, or any of your liquid IVs or whatnot. So part of the drills that we're going to be doing, the one drill that I was speaking of earlier, where it's just a warm-up drill, I would like to see begin at just about every practice, and we'll demonstrate it here at TMT so it can be put out. This is going to be a great thing to do at every, just even if you do it at regular practices, and there's only 4 people there, put 2 on one side, 2 on the other, and start to find your tempo, 50%, power, 50% speed. But as they come along, we're going to be doing things that help you with your cardio and help you keep up. Timed events, 30 minutes on the center, trying to gain the center, like for the ravine battle. Those are going to be things that are going to help you with your endurance. Short of that, get into a pool, get on a bike, or start walking and start jogging.
I guess my question was more along the lines of, will there be any kind of specific game event that might not be specifically combative, but it might require a team effort to, like, let's say, push a siege cart far
Yes.
across the field, stuff like that. That's what I was
I'll
trying to
add to that.
understand.
That's a
We've
great
talked
idea.
Everything's on the table.
Yeah,
Everything's on the table,
table.
and suggestions are all suggestions are going to be considered.
We're going to use that, Dob. That's a good
I was
idea.
gonna say, like, kind of like a football, like push the sleds, but just have the whole team like push it or pull. That's
Oh
what I
yeah,
was trying to
definitely.
get at. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
No, I think that's a great idea, and we have talked about having some non-combatant types of competitions as well. And that there's going to be an overall winner at the end of the year, so there's several different ways that your team can actually accrue points.
Hey,
And if you
even
have
tug of
any
war.
ideas, send it our way. Yeah, even tug of war. So there's several different ways to be able to do this. All of what's going to help us in the end. It's going to help us play the game better. It's going to help us in our army. It's going to help us at war, all of it. So any ideas that you have, send our way because we have been throwing around those ideas.
Perfect.
I've had
Thank you.
ideas of example, doing a like the D that they do at Penzic, do a battle that's pole arms and great swords only. That's a beatdown. Hell, I want to see a 20-on-20 game of dog ball. Wouldn't that not be insane?
I
You
haven't
know,
seen it about 25 years.
so just
Uh-huh.
there's everything's on the table. So yes, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. There was a couple of shows I brought something up about for teams. I agree. Initially, yes, I would like to see the groups that are used to fighting with each other go ahead and all join one side, and because you're going to start the battles off as a household, as a group, and anyways. So yes, by all means, I'd like to see the two biggest fighting groups in the kingdom pick a side and run with it. If we're starting this at TMT, do we have time you'd like for us to choose teams, and where would you like us to indicate our initial allegiance? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start keeping track of this at TMT. We will at TMT we'll go ahead and declare. Pick your team. Start talking to your friends.
Hey,
Start
Azric.
talking to your knights, and talk amongst yourselves. Pick a side, and then we'll
Azric.
even them out as we go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What if we do one of those polls on the Trimarian Army page where people can go and just
Sure.
say Team Kraken,
Sure.
Team this, my household declares for that. We can just leave
Sure.
it as a discussion for next week.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, well, we can post it up there, and then by the time TMT shows up, we'll have a basic idea of what we're going to have, how many we're going to have, and then I'll have a better idea of how many battles we're going to do. We could do a best 2 out of 3. We could do a best 3 out of 5, depending on participation. I see Kern in the chat here. He inspired me also. One of the battle scenarios I want to do. I want to do a Moab. I want to do a Mother of all battles. So
Mm.
so there's a lot of different ideas for battles and for scenarios and whatnot. You're not going to be bored. Nothing's going to be bored.
Sir
So
America, there's a question about the command school. Could you talk a little bit about where you see that taking us?
Where I see it taking us, I see it taking
How do
us
you
to
see us
destroying
using?
Europe for the next 20 years if it goes where I want to see it
What
go.
what is the command
Um,
school and how will it benefit the kingdom?
So command school right now is just a loosely formed idea to basically train the trainers, train the army, train the trainers. What that means is that, well, this is where I'm at. I've done the general thing and I've won, and short of winning crown, which I would still like to do, I've done everything I have wanted to do in the SCA. But this is where I've been here for 33 years. It's my family. It's the people I look to when I have issues and want support and things like that. But where I want to see it go is that I have nothing left but to train and give this knowledge. That's where I was trying to get with that. And I would rather pass this knowledge on to hungry people than for it to, to go unlearned and for us to not become a magnificent azure storm at Gulf Wars as we come together. If we do this, I'm a firm believer. If we do this, and people really hold themselves accountable, get uncomfortable, get in the game and start playing. Not this next Golf Wars, but by the following Golf Wars, people are going to see something that they haven't seen in a very long time. And when you got cohesive tactics taking place, I watched it take place with the generals from the other kingdoms a couple years ago, and I hope to give Cherish and any other general that opportunity to understand that when we work together, it is an amazing feeling
We
at the
are
top.
stronger together. Dob, I saw your literal hand up.
Yeah, so you were talking about like the military and DevGru and stuff, and I wasn't sure if you were. That's what I was trying to get at. Or you're not trying to train. You're trying to train the trainers basically who are training the command. You're not developing a new chain of command for specific units and tactics. Then is what we're
It'll
getting at.
come. That'll come. What you're going to
Okay.
do first is we're going to develop our first line leaders, the sergeants. We're redeveloping what generals can, how they're going to perform and how they're
Okay.
going to use their troops. We're going to develop a better form of communication. To give you an idea of how it all comes together, I honestly see siege weapons and combat archery working behind a line and just one command bellowed and within 30 seconds to a minute an execution that gives us an area of operation that we want to take over, a
Okay.
point of operation. That's what I see, and that's going to take these war games so that we get to do that timing. There's going to be training before and maybe a little training after these war games just to kind of let people get into the swing of things and learn some stuff. But I see it as one well-oiled machine, and it's doable. It's just if we don't start, it's never going to be doable. So we're starting it. Does that answer your question?
Mostly. I'll get with you about the rest of it later.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
So basically, command school is a school of command.
Understood.
People will be able to learn whatever role. You want to be a runner and you want to start out as a runner, come start out as a runner. You want to find out what it means to be a sergeant, come on. You want to learn how to run. You're not even a sergeant that's running the shield wall on the bridge battle. You're just somebody that wants to do it and you get an opportunity to run it. I didn't ask for any command 20 years ago when Jarl Serbo put me in charge of Gold Star. It was a 80-man unit, and with Windrider and Dunseer, as a couple 12-man units. I got to run a 12 or 100 person unit for the first time, and it's an amazing experience. I want to give you guys those experiences.
This is very exciting. We see a unique experience, a shifting happening in our kingdom, more working towards coordination on the field. At the start of our meeting tonight, I asked Sir Cherish what are some of the strengths that we have in our kingdom, and one of the other ones that I recognized really early on in my journey on this path of learning about war and tactics and strategy is that our kingdom has a lot of veterans and paramilitary, and the fact that we can bring that experience into our fun is really cool. And I think that's an exciting opportunity. We're going to have Krakens, we're going to have Hydras, and they're going to be going head to head at our TMT war games, and it's going to be just Fun is what we're here to do. Just have fun.
Preseason introduction war games, TMT. Pick your team and
Sir Hal,
come get down and dirty in the bog.
Sir Halk has a question, and then Duchess Maisie has a question. Halk?
Sorry, dude. You know that I'm technologically, incompetent. Give me a second.
You can't be that technologically. I got a cat speaking at me.
Hey, you know what? It is how it is. So, and this is to train the two teams to fight against each other, but whenever we go to war, to fight as a unit,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
All right. So the commands for both teams need to be the same. Am I thinking this correctly?
Yes.
Okay. So when Team Hydra yells, whatever they yell,
Universal
and
commands.
Get them.
universal
Yeah,
commands.
absolutely.
That's the word I'm looking
Universal
for. That's
commands.
all I needed. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Hub.
That's a big that's a big goal of ours is general commands, normal speak, and that it's universal. Everybody understands the same language, and everybody understands what everybody is saying. If we're using the same language on both teams against each other, when we're working together, we're all going to understand exactly what we're doing.
And I recommend that people turn to some of the earlier Trimaris talks. Our very first one was with Sir Cherish and Sir Valbrender talking about Moose Lodge and how they organize. And this is one of the core factors of communication within the units and listening and knowing commands and knowing what to do on a dime. And if we get our kingdom working in that fashion, holy hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Duchess Maisie. Excuse me, Saint Maisie.
Ha
Amazing.
Saint. I love the fact that you're a saint.
I love it.
I just got a T-shirt that says "Fight like a Saint."
Awesome.
Saints of the mischievous gnomes.
It has Joan of Arc on it. Yeah, that's true. I just want to
That's
let you guys
cool.
know if you could come support next week. I've been asked to be on Coach's Corner. And I'll be talking about the Adopt a Jock program. So if you could come
Nice.
watch, it's on the 21st at 8:00. Even if you just pop in and type a little "I was adopted," that would be really great. So that was it. I just wanted to plug my show.
No, that's awesome. We love that program.
Thank
We'll be
you.
there.
Okay, our General Cherished, any final words, thoughts?
I think this is going to be so much fun. I think this is going to be a different way to look at training. It's going to be a different way to look at competition, and it's going to appeal to all of our competitive natures and the fact that we love fighting with each other and we love learning and getting better. And Azric's quote, "Iron sharpens iron," I think is just absolutely perfect for all this.
Okay, Sir Azric, any final thoughts, words?
I'm excited, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am. And I just, my brain is going a million miles a second with coming up with different ideas for different battles and different battle scenarios. And I'm super pumped to be a part of this and to kind of get this thing going. I want to see pom poms. I want to see our the folks out there with pom poms cheering on their team. And I want to see I want to see the best spearman out there with his, I want to see the best spearman out there with his awesome hoodie. He's like, oh man, I was the best spearman of season 1 for war games. Or
Azric,
yes.
we can make. Remember how I used to do the Trimaris pom pom cheerleaders?
Yes. Yes.
So we can make little, when we do the mascots for the Kraken and the Hydra, we can make little ones that go on the front of their tunics, and they can go up in court and have it out.
Maisie has graciously agreed to help me come up with the avatars for both of the teams, and so I want to have that. I want to have something ready. Hopefully by TMT, maybe I can make stickers or whatever. But not definitely. I'm going to have stuff to put together for fall coronation, and start having mantles put together, and so that when everything starts, we have our jerseys, our helmet jerseys, as it were, and then we can they can start keeping track of who's doing what and who's the best this, that, and the other. So I'm excited, and I hope you guys are excited. So
Sir
that's all.
Azric, your enthusiasm, I feel, is going to be a wave for our kingdom to move us forward.
Oh,
Thank
you've seen my shield, huh? I am the Trimarian tsunami.
you. Sir Almeric, any final thoughts, words?
Sir Hal, can I have one more question?
I would just like to say that I am incredibly excited about the opportunity to be a cheerleader. I look good in a short skirt. I'm just saying.
I dare
Rah,
you.
rah, rah, sis, boom,
Don't
bop.
don't dare me with a good time, sister.
I
You
dare
know
Double
you.
that.
dog dare you.
You
Yeah,
know
I dare
that.
you.
Don't even
Do
play.
it.
Hey, you don't
Do
have to be a
it. Do it for
cheerleader.
me.
You could actually have yourself like a Hydra outfit or a Kraken outfit and be a mascot.
Mascot.
I
I was
am.
going to recommend that.
Oh, y'all.
Sir Almeric?
So just my last thing is I wanna go uniforms. I don't know what you're gonna do with Moose Lodge, but I hope it's the Trimarian uniform with Moose Lodge thing on one. I know you guys got your uniforms, but what I'd really like to see is everybody's uniforms. Why does the military use uniforms? Well, if I hate to use Duke Kern, but Duke Kern's right there staring at me through his helmet. Duke Kern walks up and he's not in uniform, and they know he's a Duke and they recognize him. It's a little harder to recognize people when they just walk up. It's a little bit harder to keep up with the people that are giving commands if we all look relatively the same too. It's going to make it more difficult for there to tear down our teamwork if we're looking the same and looking like a team. That's why military or firefighters or police all wear the same uniforms. It's because of team. So I would really like to encourage that we get into our blue and white and look like waves crashing against our opponents in the future.
Mhm.
Not just to tag knights, but it's important that the knights kind of get in with this. But it's going to take all of us to get 100% behind this, to cheerlead each other, to raise the boat, bring people up when they're not feeling it that day. Be the reminder. Hey, you come into practice today. We're practicing for war games. Are you going to be there? Make those phone calls. One of the things that it's easy to do a quick chat here and invite somebody, but just as easy it is for us to invite somebody here on the social media, it's just as easy for us to forget. Make a phone call. Hey, you coming to practice? That social link is missing, and it's going to make it easier for us to just get where we're going a whole lot faster if we got everybody coming along. That's about all I have.
Right on.
Thank you,
Everybody,
sister.
this has been a really, really cool discussion. It feels like we're moving in a new direction, and it's very exciting. And I can't wait to go on that ride with you. It's going to be wonderful. This is Trimaris Talks, and if you want to have more of this, please refer back to some of the other Trimaris Talks. We have some dedicated to small unit fighting. We have some dedicated to combat archery. There are a lot of different subjects. I think we have about 10 of them already down. My intention for this is that we're going to do this war game discussion twice a quarter, right before our Kingdom event and right after, so we can prepare and then we can debrief and talk about what happened. So this is the plan. I hope to see you all at TMT, at War Games. Are you a Kraken or are you a Hydra? Let's find out.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you
Good
for
night.
joining us. We'll see you there.
Thank you guys. You guys have a good night. We'll see you soon.
Night.